justice. Good day to you, partner. I'm Guy, and I can already tell that I'll be your best friend in this forsaken camp.
Hey guys, Weed Solo here, aka the Skeleton King. I'm always going to be the Skeleton King, okay? And I know I'm making another video in the way I said I'm not the biggest fan of making videos, but that's because there's things I want to talk about. I'm going to try to talk about it as quickly as possible, and it's kind of to help people for next season. So first, real quickly, where we're chest. There's a reason I wanted to talk. I wanted to do a reaction to Dorcas Humongous's tier list because I actually think it's his worst tier list in seasons. For example, he stacked Mastery, like Bramble, when he tested Poison Creeper, which does not benefit from Mastery. Okay? Large Charms, Facets, Percent, like Bramble, doesn't work on them. It'll show up on the tooltip, but it does not apply, and it was a design choice, so don't list it as a bug. You can say, Senpai, can you please rethink, Poison Creeper's getting Mastery, and he's not going to rethink it. If he does, he'll probably nerf the skill into oblivion because it would be broken if it had it. But he tested it with it. And in his defense, I do think there is a world where Mangs and Poison Creeper work together. I actually think that's kind of cute. I'm not going to say it's optimal. I just think, oh, that's cute. I wouldn't mind trying that at some point. Maybe it could work. I don't know why the hell he's running Hurricane, because that just seems like a waste of skills and it's annoying. But whatever. So if you just want to see basic information on builds, great place to start for new players. Should you follow his build guides? No. Never. Should you listen to the fact that he has high APM optimal gameplay? No. There are necros who've played for seasons who don't consider themselves to have high optimal APM gameplay. He's an asshole. But he does showcase a lot of builds, and that's cool, because I learned something watching the video. I'm like, maybe Mangs and Poison Creeper is beyond a meme. Even if it's a meme, I think it's a cute idea. I'll give him that. But yes, so that's the reason I wanted to make this video, is that you will be led astray if you just follow somebody blindly. The class discussions are very useful. Sometimes we can be ornery. Forgive us, but I think there's also a lot of information that can help you guys out. Another thing real quickly, be careful of Chains of Honor. It's not as good as it used to be. I'd like to say just never make it, but there are reasons to make it, but keep that in mind. So what is the other point of this video? Besides, don't make a Bramble, basically ever. Even on Poison Nova Necro, it's be careful making Bramble. And especially don't make it on Poison Creeper Druid. Deathweb. I wanted to bring up some items, kind of like last video, that are a little more mid and end game that you might find and you might core well. I have no idea what the market for Poison Nova will be like, but if there is at all any market for Poison Nova and you find a perfect D-web, a few high runes at least clean early on. Later, if it's actually popular, a clean Deathweb perfect, maybe 20 high runes. I'm not even kidding. Now, if you find one and it cores well, even if it's not perfect, we're talking money. But again, if there's only 2 people playing Poison Nova, they may be rich, but they also kind of know there's only 2 of them, so they only need to buy 2 of these Deathwebs that are good. Why is Poison Nova not more popular? I don't know. People are dumb. So, but still, this is something be careful with. If you find a good D-Web, just think, hang on to it for a bit, because that thing could literally buy you an entire character. I'm not even kidding. And real quickly about Bone, this is the best one for Bone. You are not going to craft or find a rare better than it. Is it theoretically possible? Yes. But I would not waste your time. I would craft circlets. Don't listen to me. If you could craft circlets, you should craft circlets. Craft other stuff. You cannot craft circlets, okay? See? Don't listen to streamers. They don't know fucking shit. Craft circlets. So, I don't know. It's hard to keep track of everything. That's the other defense. Even people who are very good at this game, it's easy to forget something on the spot because there's so much damn information on this game. Okay, so why do I got Trangs up? Trangle's scales. If this cores +1 or 3 sockets, it is very good. Why sockets? Basically, any Trang's piece, if it cores sockets, is good for Poison Nova, because full Trang's Poison Nova works pretty well. Keep that in mind. But +1 on Trang Ol specifically is very, very good for Summoner. Why? It kind of fits on a lot of summon builds, even just without swapping. It's actually just pretty good. And don't run full Trang set if you're a Summoner. It's not good. But you can still run the Train Chest as a Summoner. What is cute, though, is I'd like to bring this up. There is a world where a +1 2-socket Trang Ol scales or a faster run walk core Trang Ol scales that rolls 2 sockets is very good for Running Man specifically. So basically, are other cores good? Not really. But I have wanted to find a faster run walk core Trangs with 2 sockets for one build. So are there people out there looking for weird stuff? Yes. But don't expect many of those. So like I said, sockets is good. +1 really doesn't matter on the other pieces. It's mainly just you're looking for sockets, FCR, and the gloves, obviously. That's simple. I would avoid Trang Ol's set early on unless you are going to be trying to make a Poison Nova, in which case just buy 2-socket, 3-socket gear for cheap, put in bad facets, worry about actually making Poison Nova later. Like, don't spend too much on it. But yes, full Trangs does work for P Nova, especially if you want to hang out in T1. It is hard to hit the highest FCR bracket sometimes, but in T1 you can drop some damage, and then it's really not that bad, depending on like the amulet you get, etc. Heart of the Oak. Don't make this. I don't know if anyone tells people to make this anymore, but it basically has no use on any build. The last build I believe it had use on was a Paladin, but Paladins now, since they can make rune words and scepters or more rune words and scepters, basically no build runs this. It's a waste of a Vex. You are throwing a Vex away. Just trust me on this. It is not good. It'll be good for like 2 days, because you can always just swap. There was a guy in Necro chat today who's like, I'm not going to do that. I can't press a button to swap between my Necro Wand and Shield to Wiz Spike and Collins. See, that's the reason why it sucks, because you could just run a Wiz Spike. But I lose too many skills. It's like, we're not asking you to change your gear around. Just push one button, fool. He's like, oh, no, think about it. Okay. So yeah, and again, there used to be like 1 or 2 builds that actually still ran this in-game, although it's not worth anything. Like they wouldn't even pay a Vex for it. But now no build runs it. I didn't think it was in-game. I just think they ran it for a while. Okay, Silence. If you are going to make Blood Golems, this is the item you want to make. It is actually pretty good. FHR, skills, the Thorns aura, and actually a chunk of resistances. Even MF. Do I think you should go Blood Golems? No. But there is something interesting coming up with Blood Golems. But if you do want to go Blood Golem route, this is the weapon. You actually go Silence Callans eventually when you can afford it. Ferocity. I wanted to bring this up because maybe people don't understand how Taunt works now. Taunt has been changed significantly, in PD2 to now lower enemy damage and attack rating. By the way, defense is more valuable than it used to be in Diablo 2, so this matters more and this matters more. The level 12 aura, enemies are doing 27% less damage. That's nuts. If you combine this with a Weaken or a Decrep or any other defensive ability, nuts. You can't die. So keep that in mind, and it's very useful on a lot of mercenaries that run the Innocence. It's kind of just the best helm to put on Innocence usually. There are some other options. And moving on, or else we're just going to take all day. We talked about this, talked about that. Now shields. Real quickly, because somebody didn't do this and didn't know how good it was, they found a 2-socket Necro head and didn't realize that's the good Necro head. Again, I don't know how many times I have to bring up Rhyme and Splendor, but we have a sick rune word to make with our Necro heads. 2 of them. It's really, really good. Trust me, try it sometime. Try it. Just try it. Exile. Amazing. There are so many Necro shields. There are so many shields you can use on Necro builds that are good. Not Dragon, but Exile. Amazing. Okay, Decrepify, Defiance. Max Res. MF. I've ran this main hand on Necros. Why? Because it has a sick amount of defense on it. Phoenix. Amazing. amazing shield. That's not even that expensive. Well, okay, it's actually kind of expensive, but it's amazing. Okay, it should still be nerfed again. And the cool part about it is it gives you the redemption aura, which means you never have to heal again. One thing to keep in mind about running this is that you do have to kind of wait a little longer than you'd like to. But if you're looking for quality of life summoner, there is no more quality of life than Phoenix, unless you don't mind potting, in which case not getting hit is better. Like, I would prefer running main hand Exile over Phoenix, but it's also just a really good item, dude. It really is. And no, this does not apply to Fire Golems. No Pierce applies to any pet in the game. And then Shattered Wall. Like, maybe this is actually better than Exile now, main hand. Like, if you ever do block, you get the FBR, CBF, ton of life, still's got defense. You can also put this on the Mercenary. So these are the kind of the choice items you're going to be putting on Summoner to help make everything feel better later on. And real quickly about Mercenaries. Vigor. Simple. It's really good. If you don't have Vigor, run a Vigor Merc as a Summoner. Unless you've already are just stomping. If you're just stomping, then yes, Vigor is less good. I still think it's very valuable, but if you're already at the point where you're just stomping, then yes, Vigor does drop off. But if you're not there yet, you don't understand how much Vigor increases your DPS. And no, you don't need to run Act 1. You could have Vigor or Harmony, but you need to have one of those. This Mercenary always sucks. Just get an Act 3 Mercenary and put an Insight on it. Or even an Act 2 Mercenary and put an Insight on it. I think there was one build I ran Meditation on, like very specific crap, and I don't think it was very good, but like basically this is very niche. This Mercenary's dead. Except for in-game Innocence Demon Machine should still be pretty good. But like in just general using it, one magic arrow is not enough to actually have it do damage. I'm pretty sure the damage would be pretty similar to the Fire Mercenary now, or the Cold Mercenary. Now, Blessed Aim. It does not work on summons. It only works on 3 summons in the game. The Deadly Strike. They changed Blessed Aim too. People watching this who don't play the game are like, why would you want Blessed Aim for AR? They changed it so Blessed Aim gives Deadly Strike now, but it only works on 3 pets as far as we know. Valkyrie, Iron Golem, and... oh no, what was the third one? Oh no. Oh no. Was it Archer? Oh my god, I can't remember this. Oh shit. See, the streamer forgets the information. I actually have this note pinned in Necro Chat somewhere. Let's see if it's still up. See, Necro Chat is useful. Hold on. Okay, look, all these cool explanations. As of now, Archers. I was right. IG Archers and Valks. Okay. I also put this. I don't think he tested Shadow Dancers or Shadow Master. He never answered me on this, probably because he just keeps forgetting to answer me. But the reason I wanted to say it might be different now is because they fixed decoys getting critical strike. And so with decoys critical strike being fixed, is it possible they now get Deadly Strike from Blessed Aim? It depends on what the issue was with them getting critical strike before. So that would actually be nuts. It would give a reason to run Blessed Aim on a Summons On. And already I'm interested to see how much better decoys are for mapping. It's kind of slow. Like, don't play Summons On. It's lame. But like, play it if you want to, but just know you're not going to be blowing... you're not going to be mapping that fast. But I played it for a whole season, and if you just want to play the build you like, then play the build you like. I get it. Defiance is always good. Thorns it's dead. If you actually want to play a Thorns Mercenary, which I have, you go Defiance, you put a Silence and a Bramble on him. By the way, that's the only reason to make a Bramble, is for the Thorns aura. I know, very cute. Okay, so Act 3, Cleansing, very good. Prayer, very good. Holy Shock, this is the one I think you should go with. By the way, they did nerf his Lightning Mastery a bit. I think it's actually down below. I probably have already been talking for too long. But basically, is Dual Dream still useful? Yes. Is it as good as it was? No. Do I think you should go Dual Dream? Depends on what you're doing, actually. I think it's still viable. It's just, in my opinion, you should try to stack Pierce on him instead of wasting money on Dual Dream. But Dual Dream isn't that expensive, and finding the gear for the full Pierce full Pierce beard, might be hard. So, yeah, like on Fire Golems, could Dual Dream still do something if you're not just stomping? Like, again, it's like what are you trying to accomplish with Dual Dream? It basically just adds a little bit of extra AoE damage to a build, and do you need that on your build? There's nothing to explain with the Cold Merc and the Fire Merc. They're very useful auras, and they have more weapon slots than most other mercenaries in the game. That's all other mercenaries in the game. Why? They get a weapon, a shield, a helm, and an armor, while all these other guys don't get both a weapon and a shield. So that's why they're just always good. Act 4. Thank you. Both of these mercenaries are very good right now. The Light Mercenary, I still think Dark is better overall, but Light's very good budget. In fact, they're the best damage-dealing budget mercs in the game. So it used to be Fire and Cold, but the best damage-dealing mercs in the game now budget are by far Act 4, not including Warcry because Whirlwind's insane, but he kind of gets himself killed, but that's always a caveat, that the Whirlwind's just an insane ability. Now, would you ever run Might? Not really. There are some builds that do run it. He is kind of useful for single target, but he doesn't have a lot of range and his AI is bad. But there is a world where he's better than Emilio for single target. Right. And not the Whirlwind one. The Whirlwind one technically does similar single target DPS, but again, he's just dumber. So it's like if you're looking for single target DPS, you're looking for consistency, not whether the Merc is playing nice or not. And we're going to the very end. Okay. So, Rinrin made this cute little chart about skellies. This is level 40, okay, which a lot of players are already at. How much damage they do. And by the way, archers scale the best out of all of these, and mages scale very well too. Warriors do scale okay. But like basically archers are going to catch up and like be tied with them pretty soon. The reason why warriors suck is not that this isn't a good number. It's that they're melee. And someone was trying to suggest running more melee than just warriors, like going warriors revives or warriors clay, and they block each other. So the reason why mages are better is because they're ranged, so they can always deal damage, and 2, they hit more mobs, usually. Because the splash, even clay golems, which have a very large splash radius, usually won't hit as many mobs. Depending on, like, are you killing quickly or do you have to get, like, surrounded, basically, because you're so slow? So it's also, like, the faster you start dealing damage, the more the mages and their little bolt beam. It can also double hit. Like, there's so... It's hard to say. Just trust me when I say mages are the best. And warriors will only get worse. And even though you can play Triskellies, you can, but just don't mix warriors with other melee units. But Triskellie does work, and mages are the best, except for in-game, in which case archers are basically as good or arguably better. All right, so what is this blood golem weirdness? On single player, not testing with dummies, because dummies still have issues with open wounds, Rinrin was seeing that blood golems are now stacking as many times with 2 as they do with 5. The reason the DPS is different is just kind of the DPS of them hitting the mob. Now, apparently, he doesn't think this is happening on actual BattleNet, so don't think you can run... It would be so cool if you could run 2 blood and 3 clay, and the 2 blood would actually stack 25 times by themselves. It would actually be the sickest thing in the world. I was like, could we go hybrid clay, blood, and then 1 IG? Like, we could actually have the dream come true where you mix golems and like feel like it's valuable, like it's doing something. But again, I just think it's weird, but it's not useful as of now. This does not happen live. I'm pretty sure Rinrin tried to recreate it and couldn't, but just kind of a cute thing to know. Okay. And again, are we in the world where you mix blood and clay? Probably not, and it's only going to get worse. As you can see, as the summon skills increase, the damage difference between blood versus clay on a single target boss primeval, the bloods absolutely destroy them, and yes, this is with Crushing Blow. Now, still, is there some world where you try to combine bleed and Crushing Blow for more optimal damage? That might be out there, but at that point, you're already killing them so quickly, it's not even worth your time. So basically, bloods on bosses and primevals, clay on for mapping and Traff. But one last thing, I don't think I have the image for it because it was too complicated anyways, so we'll just leave this on the screen. They gave blood and fire golem splash before live. Why? I don't know. They didn't need a buff to me. But people ask me, are blood now better than clay for mapping? And I told somebody, I don't think so. Rimman was trying to figure out the size of their splash, and he says it's size 3. If it's size 3, I actually think they're better for mapping and may be viable for budget mapping. I'll see if I can try and test on Pluggy, but I feel like weird testing this on Pluggy because I don't think it'll actually transfer well unless I get like a 15% HP mod. Because this is something where like I feel like it has to be pretty good to make it worth your time. So just so you know though, as far as we can tell, its splash size is 3. And how big is that? Warriors have a splash size of 2 unless it's been changed. I apologize, which is pretty small. Basically, it's like it's like this big. And like size 3 would be this big, and then size 4 is like this big. But like every little slightly increase in size is a big fucking deal. Like splash 4 is like 8 yards basically, and then splash 3 is like 6 yards, and splash 2 is like 4 yards. I think that's pretty accurate, but don't quote me on that one, okay? You know, streamer little warning. We're always wrong. Okay. When they changed the Fire Golem synergy to basically be 9% per point rather than 12%, and then fixed Golem Mastery, what we got was this. The same damage with all of it, slightly lower with these two. So this is Max Golem, okay? This is 2 synergies, 1 synergy, just Golem Mastery. But what it allowed is there were so many people upset that they couldn't run hybrid Fire Golems anymore. Well, guess what? With this change, Season 10 Fire Golem plus Golem Mastery is basically the same damage as Season 9 20-point Fire Golems. So the base damage was nerfed enough so that with 9% synergy on Golem Mastery is almost exactly the same. So don't cry. No more crying. You can run hybrid Fire Golems. And the last little thing. Do you know what this is? This is as many summons as you can run on Necromancer. And do I think you should run this? No. But Renato Mikado, thank you for all the work you continue to do, because I learn things almost any time you open your mouth, and I probably hurt your intelligence, right? So basically, you get dumber as I get smarter in our interactions.
Come and play with us.
And SKELLIE King out, guys. GG.
Come and play with us, Daddy. Forever